All right, hey guys. So we had a banner crop this year of butternut squash, and I've already pre-peeled some of these, but I want to share with you guys what we're going to do with these. Now, there's a couple things that you can do. I made some noodles a little while ago. My assistant's going to go get that bowl of those for me so that I can show you what those look like. You guys wish you had an assistant like mine. She's smoking. You've seen her in some of my videos. Yeah, my videos.
Your videos now?
In fact, you're about to see her hand. Ready? Oh, my assistant's hand. So, these right here are butternut squash noodles. Really cool. We're actually going to make some pasta with these later. And the way I made these is with this really cool
gadget.
Oh, this is a gadget. It's a gadget, yeah. And as it slides through here,
the guy at the fair saw us coming. He's like,
yeah.
It slices, it dices,
Look
it
at
peels.
that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Anyway, so I went ahead and made a bowl of these just so that we can make some pasta with some of our homemade lamb sauce. But what I'm doing with the rest of these...
Homemade lamb sauce? Tomato sauce?
Tomato sauce, yeah, and
Nice.
lamb meat.
Okay.
It becomes lamb sauce. Yeah. So what I'm going to do with the rest of this is I'm going to break all this down, cube it, get the seeds out. We're going to process the seeds separately, dry those out. Some people say they're better than pumpkin seeds. I haven't tried them. We're looking forward to that. But we're going to take all this cubed butternut squash and we're going to can it. We're going to pressure can it. Once it's canned, there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do with it. You can use it actually as a vegetable on a side dish. In the wintertime, when you don't have vegetables growing, you can make a soup out of it. It makes amazing soup. Butternut squash soup is super good. But also, I've been told that it makes an amazing pie in lieu of a pumpkin pie. Now, we've not made a butternut squash pie, but we have decided we're going to this year. So, what you need to do with these before you can cube them is you need to peel them, okay? And that was the wrong side. That was the one that makes pasta. We'll flip this over. So you're just going to peel these bad boys like this. And you'll notice a little bit of green underneath there. Make sure you get as much of that as you can. So all of this right here is actually going to go out to the animals. Pigs will eat that. There's a pocket right about here of seeds. I've never watched a video on the correct way to cut one of these up. But this is my way. So I just made some hockey pucks, and then I'm going to take those hockey pucks and I'm going to cube them. Just like that. Voila, cubed butternut squash. Pretty good, actually. Now I got the piece with the seeds in it. Got to try to cut this in half. Boom, look at that. So now we got to get those seeds out of there. You know what I'm going to do first is just get rid of this little end. And we're just going to scoop these right out. So now I'm just going to take this piece right here. Sid's in the kitchen right now making a quiche. We had to decide which thing we were going to film. Her making a quiche, or me chopping up butternut squash. And I know that most people actually prefer to see me in the videos. So, you know, it's a tough call. But here we are. You and I. And a knife. And 7 more squash. So, let me do this. Okay, once we got them all cubed up, we have to blanch them. And here's how I'm going to do that. I've transferred them to this food grade container right here, and I have a big old pot of water boiling. So, turn that off. And I'm going to take this boiling water and pour it right over the top of them. We'll let them sit in there for a few minutes while I get another pot of water boiling. We're going to need some boiling water to add to the jars because we're going to hot pack this. Now I can fit 7 jars of this full quart size in my All-American canner, pressure canner. So that's how many I'm going to do. The rest of this, since it's been blanched now, actually is going to freeze really well. So I'm going to strain this out in the colander right now, and then I'm going to bag it and freeze what's left. All right. Once I've got all my jars packed, I filled them the rest of the way with hot water. And now I'm going to put the lids on them and get them into my pressure canner. So we'll grab our lids. They've been sitting in hot water. And put a ring on them. And put it in here. For any of you that have not done any pressure canning before, you want to get a couple of inches of water in here before you put the lid on. And the idea behind a pressure canner is that you're increasing the barometric pressure inside this chamber, thereby increasing the temperature at which water boils. And the reason that's important is because when water reaches 212 degrees and it begins to boil, it begins to cool itself, and you can't get it any hotter. Water hotter than 212 degrees equals steam, and it's not in the pot anymore. So if we want to get the ingredients inside these jars up closer to 300 degrees to make sure that they're going to be shelf stable, then we have to increase the barometric pressure inside of this container so that water does not boil until a later temperature. That's the whole concept behind a pressure cooker, really, is as the water begins to boil, it creates pressure inside there. That pressure changes the pressure inside of the container, thereby essentially recondensing the water until it reaches a certain point. Now, we're going to relieve this pressure at 10 psi. So at 10 psi, it's no longer going to continue to create pressure. All right, we're going to get it up to 10 psi, and then we're going to set a timer, and we're going to process these things for 90 minutes. Let's do that. Okay, folks, a quality pressure cooker is really important. I mean, there's a lot of stories out there, bad stories about cheap pressure cookers becoming bombs in the kitchen. This is an all-American pressure cooker. It's going to be hard to convince this particular pressure cooker to fail. It's that well made. The finish is called a phonographic finish, where the lid meets the cooker. It's angled in like this, and then it just is machined so that it mates itself. There's no gasket there. It presses in. When you put this on, you get all these on just finger tight. Now what we're going to do is we're going to walk kind of like cranking down, torquing down the bolts on the head of an old V8. If anybody of you have ever done that, you're going to go here, and then you're going to cross yourself over to here, and then you're going to cross yourself over to here, and then you're going to cross yourself over to here, so that you're evenly distributing. So I'm going to go like that, and I'm going to come all the way up to here. I'm going to go straight across from that one. I'm going to come all the way up to here, go straight across from that one. See what I'm doing there? I'm torquing it down evenly around so that I'm sucking this lid down nice and even. So I'm just going to go one more time. That feels pretty good, actually. And now, this is our gauge right here that tells us what the PSI inside the cooker is. Right now it's at 0 for a few reasons. This right here is where the steam's going to escape, okay? What we want to do is leave this stove up on high until steam begins to make a nice, steady stream out of this escape before we block it off. And that's going to take a few minutes. All right, once we got steam coming out of there, which may be a little difficult to see, put something black behind it like this bag of Black Rifle coffee, calf, and you can see that stream of steam. I can feel it too. See that? So that means that it's ready to put the weight on, okay? I'm going to set this weight to 10 PSI. See that 10 right there? Now, what's going to happen is, when this pressure gauge gets up to 10 PSI, this bad boy is going to start rattling and letting off steam. And it's going to maintain a pressure of 10 PSI. I may have to adjust the temperature of the flame down just a hair to keep this from rattling too much, but it's just going to, well, we'll see when we get there. Okay, once this hit 10 PSI, then I set my kitchen timer for 90 minutes. As you can see here, my weight, which is at 10 PSI, is rattling because I'm at about 12 PSI here. So I'm actually going to turn the heat down just a hair. And what I want to do is I want to keep a nice balance between like 10 and 12 PSI. What I'm actually looking for is for this thing to do what it's doing right now. Oh, maybe every 10 or 15 seconds, but not constant. See, when it rattles a little bit and then stops, you got your flame pretty good. If it was constantly rattling like crazy, your flame's way too high, and you're risking making a mess. It's not like this thing's going to blow up or anything, but, you know, if it got hot enough in there, it could potentially blow that weight off of there. Then you'd be spraying a steady stream of steam straight up at your ceiling, and that would suck. Okay. After your 90-minute processing time is up, it's very important that you turn the heat off and you let this sit until your PSI drops back down to 0. Do not, whatever you do, take this off and allow the steam to escape, dropping the pressure rapidly. That will likely cause your jars to bust, plus it'll make a mess. So turn it off, let it sit until the PSI drops back down to 0, and then you can open it, okay? So we're gonna loosen these up, and then pop your lid off, and then you pull your jars out. And as you can see, they're actually still boiling inside there. So that's it. We have just pressure canned 7 quarts of butternut squash. Cool deal. Thanks for stopping by one more time at the Crouch Ranch. We appreciate sharing with you guys, and we appreciate the interaction. Leave a comment, tell us what you think. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell so you get the notifications.